Hello, wonderful people. Welcome to another interesting class. In previous videos, I showed us how to make the cup of this dress and how to flesh out the bust pattern. This is the outcome of the dress. Very plain, so beautiful. Okay, so here I've coupled everything I'm going to be doing on this dress and checking it out how it's gonna be before placing the lace. And of course, you can see it fits so beautiful, right? So for the lace, I have cut the lace using the pattern I used in cutting the satin, okay? The fabric I used, satin underlay. Now the next thing is to get the front part of the lace and place it under the the design I put in front. Okay, it's going to be under, and mind you, I've cut this front part the same design as the front, so I'm going to be placing it under. Now the thing you need to do is to use your pin first before using your needle and hand to tack it. So by the side, after placing the upper part, I'm going to be folding the side. But before then, I'm going to also place one side of the back. In this case, what I'm going to do is, after placing the upper part, like using my pin to hold it, I'm now going to push the back side inward towards the front part. That is the seam allowance. Of course, it has seam allowance. Then I'm going to be folding the front on top of it. Okay, hope you understand. Now the back is inside, the front side is laying on top of it, being folded. But this fold, please be careful, don't let it have so much bump. It will not be nice if it has so much bump. So all I'm doing here is to make sure I use my pin the same way it's going to lie, or it's going to be when I finish using hand to sew it. That is how I'm going to use pin to make sure it comes out really nice before I start using pin to tack it. You can see how smooth it is. Now going over to the back, I will also attach the upper part. Then at the zip line, I'll have to fold it very close to the zip, but don't let it get into the zip. Okay, now you can see that at some point I'm going to lose the side to make sure the front is okay. That is the work of using the pin. Assuming I've tacked the side already before coming to the back, I will not be able to start losing the side in order to adjust the back. So make sure you use your pin first in case there's anything that you need to adjust. You adjust everything together before you start hand tacking. Okay, this is lace placement, and that is what we are doing. I can tell you it came out fine. This is just a process, and in another video I'm going to show the outcome. By then I must have finished the upper part. I'm actually taking time on this dress because I have other things doing. Okay, so you can see how it's looking already, and I need to finish up with the back. Of course, you need to have plenty of pins and you need to be patient while doing this. Now, another thing you need to do is that when you're placing this, make sure your lace does not have excess. The same way the inner part fits, that's how you're going to make sure that the lace fits. Don't allow it to dangle, okay? Use the same seam allowance for the lace, the underlay. That is the same seam allowance you're going to fold over for the lace. I hope this makes sense to you, so that when you wear it, the lace does not seem to be bigger than the main underlay. You can see how beautiful it is. So now I'm going to use my pins and start stacking it. As a fashion designer, you need to up your skill in using the needle and thread, like using your hand to sew. That is the era that we are in now. Okay, whatever you do, make sure the using your pin and your needle is very smooth and works well. Now this pin is beading needle. I said pin. This needle is beading needle. I use size 10. Size 10 is stronger than size 11 and size 12. I think the smaller the number, the stronger and bigger it is. Okay, but this is not a curved needle. If you have the curved needle, that will be very fine and easy. So this is size 10 needle and it's straight. The thing has already finished my hand, but I just have to finish what I'm doing. You get what I mean? Okay, so by this at this point my thread has finished and I need to tie it there. Okay, make sure it is firmly tied. Now I'll go over to the back. Everything I start doing at the upper part, I'll complete it down to the lower part. Now, like I showed us using the pin, you have to make sure that the lace is folded very close to the zipper line so it doesn't have space, but make sure your zip can freely open. Okay, so I'll still use my needle and thread. Now whenever you sew this, you don't have to lock it. Okay, you don't have to lock it at every point of sewing. You can just continue to sew, and when it's getting to the part you want to stop, or where your thread is finishing, you can then lock it there, but make sure that the thread is not so visible on top of the lace. Now the putting of this thread is just one passing, like just pass the thread once and tie it. Okay, and of course this is a sequin lace, not a beaded lace. The sequin is so much on the lace that even the needle was finding it difficult to pass through. All right, so it's also hiding the thread itself. But whereby you're using a lace that is so not so bulky in design, you have to be very careful not to allow the thread to show as you are sewing. Okay, so I'm just being careful not to allow the needle to pierce me so much. Of course, this takes time. Assuming you're just sewing on your sewing machine, by now I would have finished, joining it. But then the machine cannot be able to sew it. I've tried sewing it. It was giving me a lot of issues because of the plenty sequin that is around it. But then also I would have managed to sew it, but I decided to use this method of lace placement. Let's see how it goes, and I loved the outcome it gave. All right. Now, like I said before you start doing this, you have to make sure that your dress fits so well, because uh, if you have any adjustments, this is not the type you say, I have added, let me loosen it. I've slimmed down, let me adjust it. Please continue to maintain your shape. Continue to maintain your shape, because if it's no longer your size, just give it out. Except you pay for alteration, or if you're the designer, you can go over losing and start adjusting. For some persons it's easy, for other persons it can be tiring. All right, so just maintain the shape that you have at first. Okay, so once you finish this part, getting to the lower part of the zip or below the zip, you can then put the lace together, as in overlap it and continue, or you make the two of them, the two sides of the lace, come very close to each other, that you sew them separately and the center will not be seen. Okay, this is just a game of sense and what you've seen with your eyes and how to go about it. If you understand how to use your hand needle and thread very well, nobody is going to trick you into doing what you may already know how to do. Okay, all you need to understand is how to go about it, and you will definitely be fine. There's no gum here, you cannot use gum here, because if there's any reason why you have to remove the lace, it will be difficult and the outcome will not be nice. So everything had to be hand tacked. Please do not use gum. Don't be tempted to use gum. I hope you enjoy the process of making this. And the next might not be the really next video, but in the subsequent videos, I'm going to be showing us the upper parts and the outcome that I have. So I need to tie this here because the lower part has already been done. Okay, I did those off camera and I need to tie it here, so I have to make sure that it is firmly stitched around there and it does not cut. Okay, this is the outcome of what we have. See how smooth everywhere is looking. Make sure your hand stitching is very perfect and you will love the outcome of what you are doing. Thank you so much for watching to this end. I'll see you again in another video. Hopefully that you are going to try this. Have you tried our boss caging and fleshing technique? Please do well to try it, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. And of course, we are having a HIPAD class coming up very soon. Please endeavor to join us and learn how to do it. Thank you.